Reliable.
Welcome, everybody. How's it going? I see some people have already thrown some questions into the chat. Steve, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, my name is Steve Cohen. I've been doing judo since before Travis was born. I was I was on the 1988 Olympic team. I coached the 2000 team. Was fortunate to coach Jimmy when he won the world championship in 1999. And I've been around quite a long time, and I was very proud when Jimmy asked me to join him and Travis with the American Judo system. And here I am. And if you want to hear some more of me, I have my live coaching sessions once a week too. So that's that.
Yep. I guess the other question here someone asked is, what's the difference between American Judo and Japanese Judo? I think first and foremost, there's only one Judo, right? Like I firmly believe that. Even the IJF says that there's only one. The difference comes in the application and how we apply those judo techniques systematically to make our judo feel different than other people, right? So like when you look at a player, if I look at a Russian, I can tell he's Russian just by how he applies judo and the way he puts all the different puzzle pieces and techniques together versus the way the Japanese tend to put things together. So American Judo is just a different way of putting all those puzzle pieces together, using the resources that we have to give us the best possible chance of winning on an international stage. Not a domestic stage, an international stage. Let's see here. Ooh, Joe Wells. It says waving your hand. Let me know if you got a question, Joe. Next one is Steve. What initially attracted you to judo and made you to pursue it professionally?
Well, for me, I was my dad when I was back in the 1959. I'm old. He wanted to get me involved in a contact sport that was an individual sport. He thought that would make. He actually saw the value of judo being a life lessons. You know, making you preparing you for life, because being an individual contact sport. You know, I've run a public company, and nothing prepared me more for that than being a judo athlete. So I my dad wanted that. He thought it was important, and he pushed me in, to move forward. My brother and I, and at some point we began to love it, and and we did it. My brother was on the '72 Olympic team. I was on the '88 Olympic team. We opened up a judo club and started developing athletes. And it's been the love of our life, and that's what we do, and in the United States, it's always up and down with our organization, but it never changes the quality and the desire that I have to do judo and to teach.
Nice.
Judo has wrestling influences more forceful.
Yeah, I guess if you went back to like the early 90s, we used a lot of wrestling techniques, as did the Georgians and Eastern Europeans inside judo. But in today's field, all those techniques have been banished, outlawed. So today, no, we don't use wrestling inside our system of judo for what we've put together. Yes, I do know Algerian judo. It follows a lot of the European styles. They're heavily influenced by them.
Mm-hmm.
Khabib did say judo is technically superior to other wrestling sports. I don't know if he said it's technically superior. I think he just said it's more competitive, and it means more to win an Olympic gold medal in judo than it does in wrestling. I think right now, statistically, there's 132 countries that compete in the sport of judo on a global stage, with about 30 something countries actually reaching the podium, where wrestling has about 50 countries competing with about 10 or 12 reaching the podium. So it is definitely a more competitive sport. But let's get into some videos, because I see the first one here has something to do with Seo, and I really want to let you. Oh, do you think the rule changes in judo over the years? To me, Kataguruma was an amazing throw that is very unique and very beautiful. I do like the rule changes. I do think they are better for judo as an overall goal, and better for the growth of the sport just in general on a global scale. So I do think they were smart for changing some of the rules, as much as I dislike them as an athlete. When you stop and pause and don't think about the singular person, you think about the whole. They made some good decisions. Not all of them good, but for the most part, I think majority they're moving in the right direction. They might veer a little to the side there on some of these, but we'll let that be. Let's take a look and share our. Yes, this one. Here we go. Here's our first video. Somebody's gonna get thrown with Seo. So let's take a look. Let's move this guy up here really quick. Oh, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Oh, how do you even let that happen? And Nyman's such a strong player. That guy used to be 81. The Brazilian guy. He's like junior world champ or something at 81 kilos.
Well, that ain't nothing.
My athletes, man. You can't just stand around and not fucking use the things you have. You have to use it. This is a clear example of like he clearly has this guy out gripped and then fucking walks around with it. What do you think was gonna happen? The whole point is to throw people. Oh, that he does it so nonchalantly too. He's like, yeah, I did that. Jesus.
I love the judo techniques that are moving backwards and watching the kazushi as they change the direction from backward to forward. Whether it's Sayatoshi or Sanagi, I love that because it's such a feel. We're talking about feel on Michael. It's such a great feel in that kazushi to get right at just at the right time to get that forward. Yeah. That's nice.
So I'll say this. If you ever feel like you're gonna be thrown, the goal is to not get away. You have to engage. And when you watch Nyman's legs, like look at him, he like kicks them back and it allows him to get underneath him.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy doesn't even drop. His butt doesn't even touch his heels.
Nope.
God. Oh my God. We're gonna watch it once from the beginning. Oh,
love that.
Oh. So since we're talking about kazushi, let's pause here. Let's go to about right. No, let's keep going. Keep going. Right there. Super important. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor. Probably not. But if you look at the hand that's on the collar here, I see a lot of juniors, right? And people looking to learn Seoinage and drop tails, and they forget how much that wrist has the ability to pull and help that kazushi. And you see a lot of our young kids keep that wrist bent back to get the elbow through. You have to strengthen this muscle along this end to keep that wrist curled forward and pinky towards you. And you can see what he does here, where he gets all of that pull and everything, where he brings him forward with that hand. And that's where all the power is really coming from. And you can see he maintains that right there, and he curls it, where he's getting that drive, knuckles facing forward, and to complete that throw. It's really difficult for younger athletes to do, which is why we don't usually typically teach this throw. But man, as you really develop and get used to that big pull, right? You can see it's back here, right there, and then he curls it forward right there, and that's what pulls him over the shoulder and allows him to complete that throw.
Another issue I have when I teach this throw is look at the left hand, how he's pulling it down and tightening. Look how tight that is. Most athletes in the beginning don't do that and create that tightness in the elbow, in the armpit, and it's just rotates him right over.
Oh,
beautiful.
Hyman was formerly European champ. I mean, he was European champ a long time ago, but still. Oof. No, he doesn't feint the Osoto. It's just typically in today's judo, when you do your dropping throws, especially from distance, you always want to step to the outside because that's going to force Uke to step over the leg, which helps you get that extra lift right there when he steps that leg back. It's part of the reasons why you need to engage, because when he steps this leg to the outside, Uke is forced to remove that right leg. Boom. Chucks him. Awesome job. Awesome job. Impressive. Impressive to say the least.
Yeah, I love the walking when someone's walking forward and turns it, and the kazushi and the timing of when you step across to get to your opponent's position coming forward. You know, switching that weight is just beautiful.
All right, let's take a look at another one here. What are we going to get when we watch this one? Oh, he's getting sweat for sure. Oh, he set that up. Oh. Oh. Oh.
That's picture book.
Where do I even start? Watch this. Jumps, boom, sweeps him. Oh. It's like what you do to like the 6-year-olds in your class when you're like hopping and you're dancing. Look at him, look at him. Look at him. He's like, gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. See, the reason why he's able to do this is because a lot of people move without purpose and intent. And they just kind of like do things. And when you just do things, you get caught like this because you're not realizing how much you're being set up. And in this scenario, we back this up really quick. Blue is clearly dominating in the like, I want to say like strength and like physicality of the fight right now, as he's starting to like dominate. He's like hipping him, but he doesn't want to throw, doesn't want to take a shot. He's got that tricep, but right there, he like follows. Look at him right there. He just went from a nice, good stance, and then he shifted his head, and now he's standing on that balance beam right there. Boom, balance beam. And then he tries to get back to that square stance, shuffles, bam, gone. Oh, watch him turn him. Turned him. Turned him. Oh, look at that. Boom. Boom. Oh, you can even see down here, if you look at Uke's right foot in between the legs of Basili, or left foot. Look at even the Russian guy over here in the corners watching it. Bam, he just pivots on that heel. Doesn't even take a step, pivots. And then tries to slide out of the way. Oh, gets nailed.
Well, keep it there for a second. Look at the perfect position for the when he hits the foot, how he maneuvers his body over to get that perfect position to hit the foot sweep now.
Boom.
It's perfect.
Boom. Boom. Oh. That's why every couple steps, man, you guys gotta flinch. You gotta touch the feet. You gotta fake with the hands to stop things like this from happening. Look at him just dance to the side and turn this guy. Look at that. Boom. Boom. I mean, Blue should have already been on high alert and working to get his back off the edge, because at no point should you ever let somebody do that to you and put your back to that edge that close to the edge of the line. Just in general, like, you shouldn't do that. Nor should you be sliding with your back that close to the edge of the mat, because you're going to get thrown and pushed out of bounds. And then he gets caught. Oh. The turn of the hands. Look at that.
Oh. And you know, the other thing too is when you're learning Diashi, that the throw comes from the hip. I mean, it's, you know, there's no bend in the knee. It's his his hip comes. Look, yeah, it's beautiful.
Boom. Oh, nice. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Can't believe it. Super impressive. Oh, you went back to 120 pounds and grabbed this video. Wow, I already know what's going to happen. I recognize the patch. I know what's going to happen. How can I counter a much taller player that's attacking with a strong Ouchigari? Steve, I'll let you take this one.
Well, so the counter for Ouchigari most people do is just a foot sweep, Nashiburai. Mainly, if you want to stop the Ouchi, you want to push back into your opponent. Okay, that's the easiest way to stop the Ouchi. If you're going to counter it, you want to be sweeping with the leg that your opponent's hooking. Good Ouchigaris are hard to counter. So stopping it would be my first goal. And that's just by pushing back into your opponent. But get used to and practice using your foot sweep. Someone hooks that leg, sweep it. And it doesn't matter how tall he is.
Yeah, it's such a weird concept for people to really wrap their head around, that like height doesn't play that much of a factor when you know how to grip and you know how to stay in the right position.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of his opponents are aware that Vasily does the technique and they fall for it regardless. And that's what makes his technique so intriguing to learn, and really shows his mastery of that craft. You know, it's no different than Inoue with his Uchimata. They all know and they can't stop it, but it doesn't negate the idea that the reason why they can do those techniques, whether it's Inoue's Uchimata or Nomura's Sode or Koga's Ippon Seinagi or Basily's foot sweep, is they all have the ability to make their opponents make the mistakes that allow them to do the techniques. And that's where the beauty lies in the technique, is what they do right before they pull the trigger and do it, is how they're getting people to make those common mistakes where they get distracted, make those simple mistakes, and then get caught with those throws repeatedly against multiple types of players. That's the crazy part.
And again, judo's about action and reaction. And the guys that do those techniques are able to force reactions, that enable them to do their throw. So, I mean, there's a feel there. They can feel the weight distribution and they can feel the setup. So it's quite beautiful to watch.
And Sammy, I've seen your question a couple of times. Judo has to be fast. It has to be powerful. It's the only way you're going to make somebody do something they don't want to do in a physical contest. And the only way to get there is to practice and put forth effort. I think a lot of people practice. I think a lot of people don't put forth effort. When you look at certain rooms, you can run the same training program and certain players are going to get more out of it than others. And that purely comes down to the effort that they put into the session, and where a lot of people fall prey. So I don't know if anybody recognizes this slide, right? But I know exactly what's going to happen, because I feel bad for the German that this even happened to him. And he's been immortalized as the guy who got caught with this. And everybody who watches this, he makes it look so easy. I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. It's never this easy. But I know what you guys are all going to do. You're all going to watch this clip and you're going to go, I'm going to go do that to somebody. And it's not going to work. I'm telling you right now. But you're more than welcome to try. So let's watch it. Boom. Look at this. Bam. Easy. Even he looks around like, did that just work? Boom. Jesus. I remember watching this for the first time because I was a Seinagi player, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do this to everybody. Did it to no one. Did it to no one. And very rarely have I ever seen, just so that we're clear, hold on a second, I got to pause this. How dated is this video? Look at the referee on the far right side of the screen with the VHS camcorder to his eye. That's how far back Steve went to go find this clip. I'm just telling you that. There's a guy with a camcorder.
I've got one that's older than this too.
but this was at the World Championship. So these are quality players.
Yeah. Yeah, and the form is just beautiful in this too.
Oh, you know, David, I still don't even know how. I still to this day don't look at him. He's throwing it from like left field too. And just to make things even more complicated, he's cross gripping. Look at that. He cross gripped with that hand. Then does Seo. He's got a cross grip, reaching for the far arm, standing. Doesn't even have to fall down. Seoinage.
And the timing is perfect. The German's coming across with his left hand. Just perfect.
It almost makes me wonder if these guys knew each other from the tour, and he just went back and was like, oh, I bet you I could do this thing to this one particular guy in this one particular instance, and he practiced it. That's the only thing I could think of. Oh. Perfect.
Just to answer the question, don't be surprised it's a Mongolian. Mongolians are really, really good in judo.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. Looks like we got a foot sweep for the next one. Foot sweeps are always fun. Oh, I've seen this one.
There's some neat footwork, and go ahead. What's this?
Oh, he's gonna blast him with that Sode de Kochi. Watch a boom. Oh, he doesn't even touch the leg. Even his coach is like, dang, that's a good throw. Look at his reaction. Look at that guy's reaction in the back. That was pure hip and hand drive.
Yep.
Look at this. Oh, his feet. Look at it. He's not even on the floor.
Yep.
Oh, look at that hand drive. Bam. Right through the face. Boom. Boom. Bam. Head on the ground, too. Look at that.
Look at the reaction to the Sode. He does this so well.
Oh, such a poor reaction. Even if he was doing Sode, why would you play defense like that?
Yes.
Donk. And he walks it off. I love the walk-offs.
Yeah.
Hops on one leg like it's Nagi Komi practice at the club. He's still pumping his fist too. He's like, yeah, buddy.
He was a beautiful judo player. God, I love watching him. He has a great switch too. He goes backwards so well.
So look at that, Steve. You got a fan in the chat.
Thank you so much. Yeah, there was a time in my life that people thought I only did Diashibrai because I used it so much. Maybe I'll show one of my old clips if you want to see judo with a piece of tape separating the mats. Really old school from the early 70s. But yeah, I used my feet a lot. I teach that way. I think everyone needs to do Ashiwaza. You need to do it when you're gripping. You need to do it to set things up. It keeps your opponent off balance. I'm a big believer in Ashiwaza, and I certainly love to watch it. But it's something that I think is critical for everyone to learn.
Right.
Look at that here.
Kochi.
So,
Ochi.
Just a simple Kochi Ochi. Nothing fancy. I just don't see a lot of that anymore, and I really like that move. How he shifted the weight from the Kochi to the Ochi and just nailed him.
How does he even get thrown like this? I'm struggling just mechanically to figure this out.
Well, if you
super
watch,
simple Ochi,
yeah,
super simple Ochi, but then like it's like, how did that happen?
he caught the Koji though. If you watch watch Uke's foot, he does catch. Tori does catch the Koji a little bit and really knocks him back. And then
This
that's
must be
what
one
causes that
really
reaction.
physically strong Uzbekistan player to use this tricep grip right here and this sleeve grip to like really like turn his shoulders over and bounce his head off. Look at that head bounce.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam. Just to be able to have that strength to like really force someone over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Looks like he gave up. Kazushi pulling back.
Yeah, I mean, he's losing the battle right here because White's so strong with this elbow by the hip, pulling that hand in. Oh, man. So clean.
One of the mistakes I see all the time is when people are putting throws together, their supporting foot is so far away that when they're trying to get another throw off, they've got to recover. And if they off balance their opponent's recovering at the same time, they can never get it off. So when you're putting throws together, you need to stay on balance so you can follow through. Obviously, these guys are at the top level, but when you're learning, make sure your supporting foot is under you so you can move on to the next move.
Yeah, I mean, watch this guy's plant foot. It doesn't even move.
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful.
Look at that, boom, boom. It's like he just kind of like hops, like almost in place.
That's a hard follow, Uchi.
Oh,
if you want to understand the Kazushi, when you're throwing someone to Uchi, that's it. Driving down.
that hurts the pride.
Yeah.
That hurts the pride. Oh man, you went old school again on this one. Where do you find all these old videos?
I take time. The reason, if you're showing the one with Saito, which one you showing?
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Okay.
We're gonna find out. Let's take a look at this old school. Old school. Look at this.
Oh no, this is different. This is beautiful.
Well, yeah, for a heavyweight, he was known for
Muneta. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Sasai. Oh, he got him. Oh, he belly flopped on him. Oh.
Look at the lift. Look at that. Oh my God.
Oh. He throws this guy too right off the rip too. I remember that.
Yeah. I didn't put that in there, but yeah, like on both hands on one sleeve. Yeah, Muneta is just.
Damn, look at that drive with that right hand, and the commitment. His heel's not even on the ground. He's going full fledged, lifting a semi truck off the ground. And again, this just goes back to like what the American judo system preaches is just gripping.
Yeah.
Because at no point should they this position should have ever happened. This Japanese guy is just being dumb.
Yeah.
But again, Muneta just kind of walks at him, leans on him. Guy's completely out of position. Completely.
And pushing back completely. Look how he's leaning forward. Yeah, that's a setup. That's a setup.
Oh, look at that twist right there.
Yeah.
Damn, look at that. Look at that rotation. I mean, I don't even know if in my prime I could get into this position, much less a heavyweight. That's some serious mobility, especially to move that much weight.
Yeah.
Boom.
What lift, huh? That's
So much power. He was so short. He was like 5'7".
Yep. He was short.
Oh, man.
I saw him fight in the Kano Cup when he was still in high school,
Yeah.
and he was a superstar then.
Oh.
Big Japanese players are crazy. Yeah, well, I have another one. Yes, they are crazy mobile, more so in the past than now, I think. But yes, they are mobile, and if he shows the Momo Saito, you'll see some hip extension that is unusual for a heavyweight.
All right. Next one is the Canadian CEO.
Yes.
Boom. Nicholas Gill in blue. This one, you know, again, like this is what was so great about 120 Pounds back in the day because we didn't have all that content. This is where it really got us as kids, our brains really thinking and processing and seeing these combinations that people could put together. And I remember watching this one as a kid thinking like, man, I want to do that to somebody. Boom. Oh, bam, look at that head and hip extension. Boom. Man. Also, for those of you guys who don't know, this is the World Championships again. And that car went to the winner.
Yeah.
Just for those of you guys who didn't know, Judo, even way back in these days, were giving away cool prizes. So, yeah, watch this. Oh, boom. Bam. Oh, gee, look at it. He just never lets go of the gi. He just like constant like twerking of the body to get those hips involved. Boom.
Nick was a beautiful judo player. So many good things. Really good. And he was good in Newaza too.
So much power.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
just watch White's head like get like shaken about when we do this live, and just how many different places it's in. Watch this. Boom, up, down, over, left, boom, back, off the ground. Oh. And for those of you guys who don't know, oh, I should go back to this. That means the referee is calling it inbounds.
Yeah. That's
just for those of you guys who don't know, who aren't part of this generation, inbounds, and then they wave the hand for out of bounds.
Just so you know, next month I'm going old school. I'm going to show you some really old with the hand Yugos on the wooden board.
Look at that! Look at that! Just commitment to this. Commitment. Boom. Oh, so impressive. So impressive. Oh. Cool prize in judo. You're talking crazy right now. I mean, you could win a car. How is that not a cool prize? I don't understand. In developing young players, how do you balance the teaching of gripping in relation to throwing? And what is considered defensive gripping and what is considered positive gripping? Thanks, guys. That is a very complex question. That is very complex. I'm not even sure we have time to answer that because there's so many questions within the question. But I guess the easiest way to do it. Well, yeah, and it wasn't just the Korean player for Nicholas Gill. It was also Inoue.
Yeah.
He was stuck behind two, arguably some of the best judo players that have ever walked the planet.
Without a doubt.
So, yeah.
You know, Jordan, just so you know, I go over stuff like that on my coach's live sessions in more detail, where I could spend the whole time going over it. It is a complicated question, and it's not can't be answered so quickly. So, I mean,
I guess to wrap it up in a nutshell is a defensive grip is a grip a player takes where they have no real offensive judo in their toolbox that they can use, right? And they're taking those grips with the mindset of not getting thrown, right? That's typically where you see kids grabbing like the lower part of the back or the hip and like pushing off of it.
you know,
You know,
and just quickly, I look at starting off just like if you're playing baseball or tennis or golf, you learn how to hold the gi, you learn where to hold the gi. I find that to be one of the biggest problems when I see players who haven't been taught right, that they don't even know how to hold the gi. Teach them how to grab, where to grab, you know, and how to stand, you know, and really push offensive judo. You know, when you're doing judo, don't we be so concerned about getting thrown? Be concerned about executing your techniques. You know, and you practice it. You know, you practice it all. You know, when you're moving around, you're practicing your gripping and your throwing. You know, if you're going to do throwing on a crash pad, you take the time to do that. But while you're moving around, you're always watching the gripping. And if you're talking about getting your grip, that goes into gripping sequences that you can get on the encyclopedia, and I'll cover that on my coaching session too.
next question here is chances of making, not necessarily medaling at the Olympics for a 25-year-old heavyweight under 100 kilo judo brown belt, BJJ blue belt with no international competition experience. You know, first of all, it's not really about your age, especially when you're talking about the heavier weight classes, because you need the maturity to have the strength. It's more about, you know, where does your strength and athletic ability lie, and how much work are you really willing to put in, and how much of a commitment are you willing to do before any of that even matters about making the team. At the end of the day, anything is really possible.
But understanding what the commitment is important because it's a big commitment.
A financial one, not just like,
Yeah,
hey, I'll
yeah,
go to the gym and
yeah,
work out, especially if you're US based.
without a doubt.
Better chance of being hit by lightning, maybe.
I'm glad he said it, not me.
All right. Ochigari combo here. Let's see what we get. Oh, that hurt. Oh, look at, oh no. That just, no.
That's a unique combination, right? He had to come all the way from the left side over all the way to the right side. That's pretty hard. That's a great throw.
Well, and he did it. He did it so that he didn't get thrown.
Yeah, right.
Right? Because,
yeah,
right, blue throws that heavy Ochi, and white actually goes for the counter, which is smart.
Right.
But then all of a sudden doesn't commit to the counter.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden blue's like, well, I got to do something. And then ends up with Ippon.
I don't see that combination very often.
Yeah, because you wouldn't actually be able to do it without that counter happening.
Right. To come around, yeah.
Oh. You just see white just bail. Let's go of the gi. He knows he's getting thrown.
Yeah.
He knows it. Oh. All right, here's the one he's been talking about. It's coming up. I see him here. See the big man himself. All these guys land on their heads.
Watch his hip extension. This just still amazes me how flexible this guy was, Saito. Just watch the hip. Look at the hip extension. My God. That's a heavyweight.
I was just gonna say, for those of you guys who don't understand, that the guy he's throwing probably weighs somewhere between like 280 and 320.
At least.
Yeah. Bam.
that lift.
Look at that old school scoreboard.
Yeah.
Look at that. We used to be sponsored by Mazda, Fujifilm. What is that in kilograms? They probably weigh somewhere between like 130 and 140 at this era.
Yeah.
He might be as light as 120.
Saito was about 150 kilos.
Yeah.
Listen, I fought Masaki. He was like 175 kilos. He was a monster, Masaki.
Oh.
Look at the hip lift. It just amazes me. That lift.
That's impressive. He's on his tippy toes.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, he's just phenomenal. Yeah, my claim to fame is I made his highlight tape. I don't like to show it, but I made his highlight tape. None of them, none. I don't have any highlight tapes of me other than I'm on his. And every time I see a highlight tape of his, that get me in there with him beating me.
Let's see what we got here. Oh, he wasn't even holding the gi.
Look at that.
Oh, man. Oh, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. That hurts. You like it? Oh. That's like the thing you do to like the 6-year-olds in class. Yeah. You're like, oh, you want to give it to me? Huh? Bam. Oh.
Man.
Acting all big and tough.
He was shocked.
Yeah, that's definitely a bad day at the office for sure.
You know, there are guys in judo that have really good feet for different, different ashi techniques, and they just have that feel, and you hit them with a foot sweep or a kochi, they're still going to throw you. They're going to counter you. And I love that.
Yeah, it was a standard kochi, nothing special. It was just when he did it, that made that one different. Oh, Wan Hee Lee just made a comeback too.
Really?
Oh. Yeah.
When I was younger, when I was really young, spinning into throws like that was popular. Tayatoshi, Sayanagi, even spinning Uchimata. A lot of spinning when I was younger, and you don't see it that much anymore.
Yeah, some of the younger Koreans have really tried to bring this throw back, and they all kind of suck at it.
Yeah.
You used to see Iliadis in his younger days spinning. He did those twisting Seo standings.
Right.
But he was just so fast.
Yeah.
Let's back this up a second. Let's watch this. Like, look how far he gets across before White even realizes.
Makes him move right.
Like, this leg doesn't even flinch yet until it's across his body. Still nothing. Like, he doesn't even see it. Oh. That's super impressive.
Yeah. Understanding the timing of Tayatoshi. Tayatoshi takes years to develop. I did a whole session on Tayatoshi a couple months ago. I could bring some Tayatoshis back next month to see, because when it's done right, it's beautiful. Jimmy does a great Tayo. Jimmy has yeah, Jimmy has great Tayo. I've got a few of Jimmy's in my video folder because he does it great. But yeah, I love Tayo. I love Tayo as a big man and as a small man. It's a great technique, but it takes years to learn because the kazushi and the timing is critical.
Yeah. And it takes years just to develop that muscle to like really get that pull out and away. 'Cause it's such a weak muscle for just humans in general.
That's why, for the person who was asking about teaching, don't worry so much about the success. Just make sure they're practicing correctly. It's going to take years to develop. They're developing the muscle, they're developing the timing. Don't worry, just make sure that their hands are in the right position and their timing of the kazushi is right. They'll get it eventually.
All right, guys, that's all the videos we have for today. So thank you for showing up and watching some judo with us. Until next month, if you guys want any more help with coaching or judo in general, head over to the American Judo System, where you can pick up a membership or purchase one of Steve's coaching courses, jump on his monthly calls to get help with your dojo, your academy, coaching techniques, drills, all that fun stuff. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.